thinking a lot this week about different seasons. For example, we had the season of summer has officially begun. We have the vernal equinox, summer is here, spring is over. Now in Florida, that really doesn't mean a lot, right? I mean, we don't have a lot of seasons in Florida. We do, but they're different kinds of seasons. I mean, for example, we have hot and hotter. We have wet and dry. We have high rent and low rent. All these different kinds of seasons. But I remember when I was a young guy, about 6 years old, my sister got married, and she moved up north, and she used to send me between wax paper, leaves from up north. And I just thought these were the coolest things. Because I grew up in Florida, so I literally thought that this whole idea of fall, like the fall change of seasons, that this was something that was only like in cartoons. You know, I didn't know it was real, so I'd see these beautiful fall leaves my sister would send me, and the first time I saw fall up north, I was just blown away, because fall in Florida these days really just means that Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks are carrying pumpkin spice lattes. For those of us who are basic. But fall for most of you, and it's good because Florida's agrarian, right? We have a very heavy agricultural industry in this state. But again, the season's completely different. So those of you that grew up in the Midwest, those of you who grew up in the Northeast, you're used to the idea of fall as being harvest time. Harvest time. Now, what I'm wondering is Jesus is talking about the harvest in the gospel today. And I wonder if it was close to harvest time, because again, I don't, the Middle East, much like Florida, the seasons are very different there. And so I don't know when harvest time would be. For most of you associate fall with harvest, right? You know that that's the time. Some of you may have grew up in farm industries. That's the time where you had to. Sometimes there would even be breaks from school so that children can go and assist on farms during that time of the harvest, because if you didn't pick the fruit, man, the grains or any of the stuff, it was going to go to seed really quick. So you had to make sure that you were ready to pick the harvest when it was ripe. And that's the imagery that Jesus uses in the gospel today. He reminds us that the harvest is ripe and the laborers are few. In other words, he's saying that there's fruit that's rotting on the vine. And so we need to pray for the Lord of the harvest to send more laborers into his vineyard. Send more laborers into the vineyard. Now, what he's talking about here, and I think this is something that we need to hear very closely as a church, we as a church are suffering from a severe vocation crisis. Now, when I say that we have a vocation crisis, you say, here it comes, he'll give the plug, trying to get us to send our kids to seminaries and convents. No, I mean, that's certainly part of it. We certainly need to return to the time when every young woman is discerning religious life and every young man is discerning the call to the priesthood. Just thinking, just praying about, being open to how God might be calling you. But I'm going beyond that. We as the church, we as the people of God have lost sight of our calling by the Lord to proclaim and witness the kingdom of God, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. When I say the harvest is ripe, here's what I mean. And you've heard me say this, and I'll say it again. In the past few years, my job as a priest has become extremely easy because I no longer have to convince anyone that the world is crazy. The craziness of the world has testified to itself. And if you've been on social media in the past 10 days, oh my goodness, are people crazy? I mean, I've literally seen friends of mine, and I'm not exaggerating this. I know I can exaggerate sometimes a little bit, but I'm really not exaggerating when I say this. I've literally seen friends of mine post to call for the burning down of churches, calling for the destruction of women's clinics throughout the world. The world's sick. And I'll tell you why. It's sick because people are hurting. Not because they're evil. Because they're hurting. They're wounded. They don't know where to find the answers. And the answers, of course, are found in Jesus Christ. I often think about an incident that happened to me, and I think I shared this at last Mass, and I'm beginning to think I may have shared this a while ago with some of you, but I used to go every Friday when I was in the northern part of the diocese, and I would pray at Planned Parenthood, not every Friday, but frequently on Fridays I would go and I would pray at Planned Parenthood. One, it was my day off, so my schedule was open, and two, that was the day that the Planned Parenthood in Sarasota, sadly, that was the day of the week that they killed babies. So I'd often go there to pray, and there was a lot of us there offering prayerful support. And actually, I was blessed. There was none of the people that scream and yell or show pictures of, it was a very prayerful, peaceful time and presence. And a lot of the sidewalk counselors were very successful in helping young women. I remember there was one young woman who was walking in, and someone said to her, you don't have to do this. And she turned around and said, are you going to support me? Are you going to support my baby? And we even had a doctor, an OBG there with us. And we said, yes, we will. We will help you, and we will help you find the help and support you need. And the response was, go to hell. Now, but is that an evil person that said that? No, I don't think so. I think it's a hurting person. Someone who had been so convinced by the lies of this world that there was no other way out. And I often think of that young lady. I often pray for that young lady. Hopefully that somehow, God worked and a life was saved. But here's the thing, is this is exactly the kind of reaction I've been seeing from the world as of late. And Jesus says, go into every town and announce the truth. The kingdom of God is at hand. And not everyone's going to receive that truth. And sometimes it is better just to shake the dust off our feet and pray for someone, because the world's not receptive to truth. I mean, for heaven's sakes, my brothers and sisters, scientific evidence is so clear that an unborn child is human and it's alive. No honest medical professional will disagree with that it's one human, two alive. Sure, we can argue there's philosophical concepts like personhood that we might argue about, or viability, or all of these things, but the bottom line is if an unborn child is not a human life, I'd like to know what the hell it is. Clearly, it's human life. That was called an emphatic swear. It got your attention. Did it work? Right, good. It's a human life. Faith doesn't need to tell you that. You don't need to read the Bible to know that. That is just sincerely what is apparent, just like our biology. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. It's apparent. You don't need the Bible to tell you these things. These are truths that are written on the human heart, that we believe through natural law and reason. But my friends, these are things that if you say today, people throw fits about. They call us names. Bigots, anti-woman, hater. We're not hating. Loving. But here's the thing, let's not fall into the hate. It's so easy. It's so easy to be sucked into that den of lies. It's so easy to get in this one side versus the other, to remember instead we're trying to reach people for the kingdom of God. That's our vocation, is to, like the 72 in the gospel today, to go out and proclaim that the kingdom of God is at hand. Notice it was 72. It doesn't say 72 men, right? Presumably there could have been women in this group. It's not the 12 apostles, so we're not talking about just ordained bozos like me. We're talking about you, by virtue of your baptism, have been empowered by Jesus to proclaim the gospel. And so these 72, they went out. We get the after story. We skip some verses so we get the after. We don't have to wait. It's not like Netflix where we have to wait a couple of weeks for them to drop the last 2 episodes, Just saying. No spoilers. I have not seen it yet. If you don't know what that means, ask your grandkids. we wouldn't have to wait. We get the end of the story, and they come back, and they're rejoicing because they said, Lord, even the demons were subject to us. In other words, they're like, Lord, this task that you gave us, Satan himself couldn't stop us. And Jesus is like, duh, yeah, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven before the dawn of the world. And nothing's going to stop you. I'm going to give you power to tread on scorpions and to tread on serpents. Please don't handle snakes, by the way. That's not exactly what Jesus was talking about. Seen some people do it. But what he's saying is that nothing is going to stop you from your mission. Even the powers of darkness can't stop you when you unite yourself with the mission of Jesus. And just like that young woman I saw that Friday afternoon, people are hurting. And friends, a lot of these people that are hurting or upset may never find their way to the pews that you're sitting in. They may never find your way into the confessional that I'm sitting in on Tuesday and Sunday nights. But they might be in the cubicle next to you at work. They might be your child's friend. They might be the person in front of you at the grocery store. They might be your colleagues or business partners or clients that you talk to on a daily basis. And our Lord Jesus Christ has called you to proclaim to them the gospel, to come and tell them that in this crazy, dark, fallen, and confusing world that there is such a thing as truth, and that the truth that comes from God is that alone which makes us free. So friends, as we receive this Eucharist today and are nourished by the very body and blood, soul and divinity of our Savior, Jesus Christ, let's pray for the grace and the courage to end our own vocation crisis and to find our identity of standing up and telling the world that the kingdom of God is at hand, and that all who are hurting and thirsty and sad and depressed and despondent and angry can only find refuge, peace, and happiness in the kingdom of God that alone will endure forever.